Now, you were depressed before? You don't know depression until what I'm about to tell you. So now imagine if they visit us in a spacecraft. I have two hypotheses, three. One of them is they have already landed, but they accidentally arrived during Comic-Con. And no one could distinguish them from any other costumes that were being worn. And then they left. So another possibility is that they took a good look at us and concluded there's no sign of intelligent life on Earth, not worthy of their attention. A third possibility, there may be more, but these are the three that I carry with me, is that they are so much smarter than we are. And by the way, what would that take? Not much. But what's the next closest animal to humans in intelligence? Chimpanzees, chimps. And what's the DNA difference? 2% tops? Yet, what's the most they can do? They can stack boxes and reach a banana? Okay, maybe they'll put up an umbrella, rudimentary sign language, maybe. Our toddlers do that. Our toddlers. So here's only a 2% difference in DNA, and the chimp is stacking boxes, but we have poetry and music and the Hubble telescope. So our hubris ends up saying, what a difference that 2% makes. What a difference that makes. Maybe that difference is just as small as the 2%. Maybe the difference between the Hubble telescope and stacking boxes is as small as the 2% indicates. Because now consider some other species, 2% beyond us, just as we are 2% beyond the chimp. What would we look like to them? They would roll the smartest human Stephen Hawking, roll him forward and say, this one is slightly smarter than the rest because he can do astrophysics calculations in his head like little Timmy over here who just came back from preschool. Alien Timmy. Oh, look, you just composed your 12th sonnet. That's beautiful. Oh, you just re-derived the fundamental principles of calculus. Let's put it on the refrigerator door. Yes, that's what their toddlers would be doing because our toddlers do what the smartest chimps do. If aliens came and they had only that much more intelligence than us, the gap that is between us and chimps, and we have DNA in common, if they were only that, they could enslave the entire Earth and we wouldn't even know it. Maybe that has already happened. And we are living our lives as though we are expressing the free will of the human species, yet we are nothing more than an ant farm on their shelf. So we are their entertainment, not even worthy of investigation beyond what we look like in their terrarium.
If you look at Earth from space, you see a dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever lived their lives, the aggregate of all our joys and sufferings, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines, every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilizations, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every hopeful child, every mother and father, every inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species live there on a mote of dust. Earth is a very small stage in a vast cosmic arena. Think of the rivers of blood spilled by all those generals and emperors, so that in glory and in triumph, they could become the momentary masters of a fraction of a dot. Think of the endless cruelties visited by the inhabitants of one corner of the dot on scarcely distinguishable inhabitants of some other corner of the dot. How frequent their misunderstandings, how eager they are to kill one another, how fervent their hatreds. our posturings, our imagined self-importance, the delusion that we have some privileged position in the universe are challenged by this point of pale light. Our planet is a lonely speck in the great enveloping cosmic dark. In our obscurity, in all this vastness, there is no hint that help will come from elsewhere to save us from ourselves. It's up to us. It's been said that astronomy is a humbling, and I might add, character-building experience. To my mind, there is perhaps no better demonstration of the folly of human conceits than this distant image of our tiny world. It underscores our responsibility to deal more kindly and compassionately with one another, and to preserve and cherish that pale blue dot, the only home we have ever known. Thank you all.
2012, yes. Last I checked, the world is still here. And planet Nibiru, which doesn't exist, never hit us. The Mayan predictions from, 700 years ago, there were people who seriously believed that the Mayans had a better understanding of astrophysics than we do today. What is your motivation for that? Or that Earth's axis would tip, or that the sun would explode. And this went on and on and on. I was convinced that people were only happy when they believed the world was going to end. I was at a party, and some man walks up to me. He said, I heard this is like 2010. He said, some people told him, I hear you're an astrophysicist. I said, yes. And he's like very eager. And he says, I heard the world is going to end in 2012. And that the Earth will line up with the center of the galaxy and the sun. And there's a black hole in the center of the galaxy. And the extra gravity is going to tip Earth off our axis. It's going to be the end of life as we know it. And I said, that alignment that you speak of, Earth, the center of the galaxy, and the sun, that's real. That's going to happen on December 21st, 2020. But what he didn't ask me was, how often does that happen? It happens every year, December 21st, December 21st. Every year. Every year. And then he walked away dejected. He wanted the world to end. Like, what's wrong with these people? This is a ranking of all the countries, of 25 countries in the world, by what percentage of their citizenry answers yes to the following question. Did humans develop from an earlier species of life on Earth? Okay, didn't even use the word evolve, just develop from. If you say yes to that, it means you embrace evolution as laid out by Darwin. If you say no, it means you reject evolution. So that's a ranking of the countries in order. So at the top is Iceland, and then you go down Denmark, Sweden, Finland, Japan, Britain, Norway, Belgium, Spain. There's Germany, Italy, Netherlands, Hungary, Luxembourg, Ireland, Slovenia, Finland, Czech Republic. The Eastern Bloc countries are there. There's the United States right down there, just above Turkey. So it means there's a huge fraction of the United States that is not plugged in to what science is telling us about the tree of life, about life on Earth in general. And so, in a free country, sure, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. But you have to just know the consequences. The consequences are that if you don't know the science or the engineering of how that works, and these are the fields that are the engines of economies of the 21st century, then if you influence the science classroom, then you're dooming the future economic strength of the country. It's that simple. And in a free elective democracy, you have the right to vote that way. But I'm here to just alert you of the consequences. And there's no tradition of scientists knocking down the Sunday school classroom, telling the preacher what to teach. There's no history of that. Atheists don't even do that, right? Do atheists picket outside your church? No. They don't come near your church. Right? You ever see it? Don't go inside. Oh, that's not what they do. When I see sort of religious philosophy trying to get into the science class, well, they can understand where this is going to go. Understand what will happen. I'm just letting you it's the future of the country.
So we have a blood moon. Here's the problem. Some people take this literally. Okay? Not people who know how to think. Just saying. This is just a word. Blood. Blood is red. Apples are red. Rose petals are red. Okay? So, blood moon, lunar eclipse, Pastor John Hagee to talk about the 4 blood moons. Well, he is sure that this is a sign of the apocalypse. Because of the word blood. Now, okay, he can think whatever he wants, all right? This is a free country, and we have religious freedom. Think whatever you want. In fact, it's reported in Christian Today. I don't have an issue. If he thinks this lunar eclipse that happens every couple of years is a sign from God that the world is going to end, fine. Cornerstone Church in San Antonio, Texas. I don't have a problem with that. If he wants to give speeches on his 4 blood moons, okay? If that's the guy, okay? Fine. I don't have an issue with that. Until USA Today! No. Does Tuesday's blood eclipse signal the end of times? What the hell are they reporting? How to watch the blood? This is the sun, okay? That's the sun. World needs help. There's a Bible passage that says, you know, the moon turns blood, and I mean bad stuff in the apocalypse, right? If you believe all that, then I guess these are signs to you. But any person who ever said the world is going to end, reading their scripture, they always said it's going to end like soon or in their lifetime. They never said the world is going to end in 1,000 years. That doesn't work because you don't get followers. People just take their time. There's got to be some urgency to what you're saying, like tonight.
Congress is considering pulling the plug on the James Webb Space Telescope, which is the successor.
Don't get me started.
No, I want to get you started. This is the successor to the Hubble, and they say it can peer into the universe and maybe see the moment when the universe was born. I don't even know how that happens. But it costs $6.8 billion.
Well, first of all, let's clarify what the NASA budget is. The bank bailout, that sum of money
could reach Venus.
That sum of money is greater than the entire 50-year running budget of NASA.
Wow.
And so when someone says we don't have enough money for this space probe, I'm asking, no, it's not that you don't have enough money. It's that the distribution of money that you're spending is warped in some way, that you are removing the only thing that gives people something to dream about tomorrow. Do you remember the 60s? You remember the 60s and 70s? You didn't have to go more than a week before there's an article in Life magazine, the home of tomorrow, the city of tomorrow, transportation of tomorrow. All that ended in the 1970s. After we stopped going to the moon, it all ended. We stopped dreaming. And so I worry that decisions that Congress makes doesn't factor in the consequences of those decisions on tomorrow. Tomorrow's gone.
You know what?
They're playing for tomorrow, metaphoric tomorrow, not the literal tomorrow. They're playing for the quarterly report. They're playing for the next election cycle. And that is mortgaging the actual future of this nation. The rest of the country, the rest of the world is going to just pass us by.
There's no tablet in the sky that said it had to be simple to end up being complex. It's just a remarkable fact about the universe. So why not celebrate it? The fact that pi, right?
Let's say the numbers together. 3.1415926.
We got a few geeks over here.
That's a nerd fest.
We got a geek thing going on over there.
Not bad.
The fact that you take a circle of any size, a circle the size of the universe itself, and divide it by its own radius, and you get that number, that's beautiful. I have to pause, and I get misty thinking of this. I'm sorry, that's just another one, that the atoms and molecules in your body are traceable to the crucibles in the centers of stars that manufactured these elements over its lifespan, when unstable, on death, exploding its enriched guts across the galaxy, scattering it into gas clouds that would ultimately collapse and make a star and have the right ingredients to make planets and people. Which means we are part of this universe. As I've said many times, and this goes back, not only are we in the universe is in us. That is a profound